If you're an FBI agent who was assigned by your superiors to participate in a court-ordered search, that means you're not loyal. That means you're fired.
Over the weekend, Chris Christie was on with Jonathan Karl on This Week, and he said some things that were correct, but it's hard to take it from Chris Christie, who enabled Donald Trump, who supported Donald Trump, who assisted him with his agenda and getting his administration off the ground. It's real hard to listen to these people who are now all the harumph. Oh, I can't believe Donald Trump is doing this. What? When they've known all along. Listen, if we knew all along, we don't know Donald Trump. How did they not know all along when they knew Donald Trump, right? But this dovetails into a letter that I was going to read anyway, and this is a letter from 300 plus members of a group called Steady State, and they are sounding the alarm. Finally, we're getting people in the national security infrastructure who have dedicated their lives to the prospect of defending and supporting the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, but also of defending this country against military threat, hostile foreign power threat, intelligence-wise. It runs the gamut. And so people are starting to wake up and like, oh, what we need to set ourselves toward making other people wake up now that we are awake. But I want to start it with this clip from Chris Christie, who is absolutely right here. But where was he 10 years ago when he was bending the knee to Donald Trump and trying to advance his agenda at every step of the way?
And Chris, I'm told on Brian Driscoll that he was fired. No, he wasn't given a reason, apparently, but he was fired because he was asked to fire another FBI agent who had been involved, they found out, in the classified documents, the search of Mar-a-Lago. The other agent, by the way, was the pilot who flies the FBI director on his plane. That he was asked to fire that person. He refused, saying he didn't do anything wrong, and was told, okay, then you're fired.
Look, John, this is all about Donald Trump. What a shock. There's a headline for today. It's all about Donald Trump. So if you're an FBI agent who was assigned by your superiors to participate in a court-ordered search, that means you're not loyal. You're not loyal. That means you're fired. And that's it. And it's taking them some time. You know, we're now almost 8 months into the administration. It's taking them some time to find all of these disloyal people who followed the orders they were given, lawful orders. In the case of the Mar-a-Lago raid, a court-ordered search warrant.
And Chris, what does it say to those agents when people like Driscoll are fired, and Jared Wise, the guy who called police officers Nazis and yelled out, "Kill them," is a senior advisor over at DOJ?
It means comply with the political agenda and personal agenda of Donald Trump or be gone. And let's face it, Sarah's absolutely right. I served for 7 years in the Justice Department. I served for 7 years. Okay, go ahead, Sarah.
Oh, I was just going to say, don't forget it also means that when you're given orders by this administration, that it may mean you're going to get fired by the next administration. It destroys any ability for the Department of Justice to do its work because everyone's going to have to now look out for themselves, worry about if they execute that search warrant, are they going to lose their job because of it in a year?
So Donald Trump is having FBI agents fired who executed legal court-mandated subpoenas and warrants. They followed the law. And what do they get for their trouble? For enforcing the rule of law, they lost their job. And what did Chris Christie say there? This is all about Donald Trump. What a shock, he says. Where, pray tell, where the fuck were you, Chris Christie? Your word is meaningless. I don't know why you're being given time on TV. Just because you're opposed to Trump now doesn't make you an ally of the American people, of the country, of the Constitution, to which you've sworn an oath. What happened to that oath 9 years ago, 8 years ago, 7 years ago, 6 years. You've had all kinds of time. This group, the Steady State, this is from their website, the 300 plus members of the Steady State are former national security officials who remain committed to their oaths to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. They continue to promote democracy, rule of law, and national security based on the values shared by most Americans. Let me say this, it doesn't matter if these values are shared by most Americans or not. They are shared by and espoused by, reinforced by the Constitution of the United States. This is our governing document, not whether the majority believes women should have the right to vote or ethics should be something we follow. It's enshrined in the Constitution. That's what makes it important, not majority. This is the letter they sent. I'm only going to read a couple paragraphs here. An open letter to the men and women of the FBI from Steady State expressing support and alarm over politicization and retribution, a purge. We write to you as former members of the U.S. intelligence, diplomatic, defense, and national security communities, veterans of service to both Republican and Democratic administrations. We are the Steady State, a nonpartisan group of professionals who have served in the CIA, FBI, State Department, Department of Defense, NSA, DHS, and the uniformed military. Together, we have spent our careers upholding the Constitution and defending the United States from foreign and domestic threats. I believe it's important to constantly bang that note, that it's not just foreign threats to the Constitution. Right now, the gravest threats to our Constitution, to the rule of law, to national security, comes from within. It is the domestic threat to the Constitution that we need to focus on. We have worked across the globe at embassies, forward operating bases, and conflict zones, as well as here at home in Washington, D.C., and in field offices across the country. Some of us sat across the table from foreign intelligence services. Some led counterterrorism operations or nuclear nonproliferation programs, while others negotiated treaties or built coalitions in defense of democracy. Whatever the mission, one constant was our respect for and reliance on the integrity, professionalism, and independence of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Together, we helped keep America safe from espionage, terrorism, and transnational crime. Together, we ensured that more than a dozen presidents had the best intelligence and analysis available to make decisions that shaped the outcome of the Cold War and safeguarded American interests around the world. It's from this shared legacy of service that we now write in deep concern and solidarity. And the letter goes on to express the same concerns that I have expressed and many in my cohort here on YouTube and elsewhere of the grave threat, the clear and present danger that is posed by Donald Trump and Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, Pete Hegseth, Stephen Miller, Russell Vogt, Janine Pirro, Ed Martin, the rest, what's the dipshit, Alina Habba, the rest of these sycophantic, bootlicking lapdogs that Donald Trump has placed into the highest echelons of justice in our country. All who serve only one goal, and that is to protect Donald Trump from consequence of his actions. To allow him to run unfettered throughout our federal government, hoovering up, vacuuming up as much money and influence and power as he can before he is ultimately dead because he's an old freak or not president anymore until the next generation of MAGA puke can take over. We need more people like those that wrote this letter from the Steady State. We need more people to stand up for what is right, to protect the rule of law, to honor their oath, the same oath to the Constitution that I swore multiple times, to support and defend this document against all enemies, foreign and domestic, when domestic is the true threat. Donald Trump is that domestic threat to the Constitution of the United States. Anyway, what do you think? I would appreciate your feedback here. You can comment below. You can also call the voicemail line 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily at dollemore.com. I'm going to go before my voice just gives up altogether with the cracking. I'm like a kid going through puberty working at the fry station in a McDonald's. Anyway, I'll see you later. I love and appreciate you very much. Be genuine. Take care of one another.